This episode of the All About Nothing podcast is sponsored by listeners like you and Big Media LLC, encouraging you to check your voter registration. In a world where every voice counts, ensuring your registration is accurate and up to date is the simplest, most effective way to guarantee your vote is heard. Don't leave your participation to chance. Take a moment today and verify your status and stay ready for the next election by visiting theallaboutnothing.com/voter.
So, I've got this shirt from ZJZDesigns.com. It's one of their Thanksgiving prints, and I wore it to family dinner last year. I got more compliments on that thing than any of the food that we brought. Seriously, their stuff is clever, it's comfy, and it's always a conversation starter. Whether you're into spooky Halloween teas, patriotic vibes, or you just want something original that doesn't look like it came from a big box store, check them out. ZJZ Designs. They've got new prints all the time, and I guarantee you'll find one that fits your vibe. Check out ZJZDesigns.com.
I can't hear nothing. Can you hear me? There you go.
I can hear
there
you.
you go.
I can.
You had me in the green room for like a minute and a half, and I'm like, what is going on? We hadn't done this in a week, and we've forgotten how to do it.
You know how many times I actually clicked the button? I'm going to say this is a studio fail.
Okay.
This isn't a Barrett fail.
I'm not in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. I just remote in.
This was absolutely 100% a studio fail.
And now I can't see you. I can see
software.
me, but I can't see you. Oh, well, whatever.
Well, then hold on. Let me fix that.
You know what? I've decided, and I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. Hey, that's better. I have decided that one of our companies is going to buy me a new computer. And you told me,
fair enough.
You told me when we were offline the other day, just wait and don't buy another one. But you know what? I'm an spoiled, entitled American. And if I want a new MacBook, I'm just going to go get one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right
I'm going
on.
to take it to Wedge, which is down on Taylor Street in Columbia. And I'm going to take them this old one that I'm broadcasting off of. And I'm going to say, take all the shit off this one and put it on this new one.
There you go.
And I'll spend $300 to have them do that.
And you know what? I congratulate you in your recognition of the entitlement.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I've got a few cards that I carry around in my back pocket.
That's fair. All right.
You know what?
Welcome everyone.
If you got them, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging them. I don't have a problem with it.
Welcome everyone to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I'm Barrett Gruber, joined by Brock. We are here on a Wednesday evening. Want to remind you to participate in the show. You can chat with us on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. Hey, happy Shark Week, Brock.
That's right. Yes, if only I had cable. When I grew up as a kid and we finally got cable, I might have been 17 years old. We were like the last of the Mohicans when it came to getting cable. And just so any of the 7 viewers that we have, I know we got more than that. I think that's kind of funny though to say that. Just so they know, like my mother never let me watch The Simpsons. She said any character that cusses at their mom is not acceptable in our house, because apparently Bart told his mom to shut the hell up, or I don't know what she said, or this was.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
You know what? Your mom was purely speculating. Bart, I don't think Bart's ever cussed at his mom.
Who knows? Anyways, my mother, being the school teacher that she was, decided really early on that The Simpsons was inappropriate. And so I never got into The Simpsons. So
fair enough.
But, I grew up in a household that there were 4 channels that came over broadcast television. We could get 3 of them because I grew up in the upstate. We couldn't get I think it's Fox 49 or something that came out of Charlotte, but we could get WSPA, WYFF, and an ABC station, I think, that came out of Spartanburg or Greenville. And so to show how old I am, and for the record, everybody, Barrett is actually older than me. We had to get up and actually turn the dial on the wooden box TV. It's like you never took it. It's like, you didn't take the TV out of the box, and you put all your tchotchkes and your candles and your floral dinner mats or whatever those things look like. Yeah. And we got 3 channels, and 2 of them actually came in, and to turn the channel, you clunk, 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 clunk. And then, they had that big ass antenna that's, was off the side of your house.
Oh yeah.
That, yeah.
had an electric box that you actually turned.
You could turn it. Yeah,
you could turn the antenna on top of your house.
Yeah, absolutely,
100% accurate.
But we only got 3 channels.
The days of I grew up in Atlanta, so we got like 6 channels, including like a couple PBS channels or Georgia Public Television. But I grew up during the days where if it wasn't coming in clear, for some reason, physical violence against the side of the television would actually, make it work or not work more. But
we tried that with the Nintendo. That didn't turn out so well.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of my Nintendo games, I don't know if I just didn't have the ability to do it without making spit come out. But
you had to blow in the
a lot of our cartridge games, blowing in the cartridge games. I'm sure those stopped working because of the rust.
That was proven to work. And then also when you inserted the cartridge, sometimes you could jiggle it around inside, and I guess the pins would connect better with whatever node they were connecting with inside. You had to move it up and down. You had to kind of pop it up and down a little bit and jiggle it. And we had all sorts of tricks to get various video games to work. They kind of solved all that with the Super Nintendo. You never had any issues with those cartridges. Yeah. But
and then the N64, it had discs, which they were tiny, but I don't think they ever failed on me.
No, they had a cartridge. They had the cartridge.
The N64? Yeah. I thought the N64 had a top lid that you put.
That was PlayStation. That was the original PlayStation. Sega Dreamcast also had a disc. And Jaguar. A Jaguar. Remember the Jaguar? They had CDs.
My Apple 26 or my Apple fucking A. My Atari 2600. I never had any issues with those games.
When you inserted the Atari cartridge, you had to smack it down. I mean, you had to boom.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of violence in old video games.
Oh man, but just think about how cool we thought we were in like 86 and 87. You had the Atari with the block and the little joystick and the button on the top and the other little button the red button on the top and the one there, and you'd move it.
Oh yeah.
Man, we had, I don't know what old games you remember, but we had 10-Yard Fight, we had Blades of Steel, Excite Bite, Metroid, obviously Mario Brothers. You couldn't hit a duck past level 7. Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon, Castlevania. That was that. I mean, I know video games are so lifelike now, and you can pretty much do anything with a video game. But man, that was such a simpler time. I mean, Tecmo Bowl, you got Bo Jackson. That was just a human cheat code. I have sat many a day at this desk because I work from home 2 days a week, and I'll listen to some 80 synth pop mix on YouTube, and I've said to myself, if I could go back and live during any time, like as the age I am now, like where would I want to grow up? I would want to be 20-something years old in the 80s. The hair, because I went and recently got some. The hair, the Miami Vice, like the Ferrari Testarossas, like, just the style, the big hair bands, the rock bands and stuff. I mean, arcades. Yeah. Like, it was just so simple. You didn't have to put up with all the bullshit that you put up with now.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, and that, for me, that bullshit is getting onto Call of Duty and realizing that some 9-year-old just owned me. And owned me several times on the same map in the same tournament or whatever.
Now, if you go back to like the early 90s and we played GoldenEye, we would own that 9-year-old. And we'd play slaps. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, my 47-year-old ass owning a 9-year-old.
Hey, as long as you're not Jared Leto, you're probably okay. Ooh, too soon.
Probably,
too soon?
yeah. I probably not. I don't know. He's not doing any more DC movies, so I think we're okay.
Or Masters of the Universe, which, by the way, I watched between the last time we did this show and today, which has been, I think it's been a week. We skipped Monday on, schedules didn't line up, but I watched the Masters of the Universe. It's streaming free on Amazon Prime. Have you seen it?
I watched it as well.
What'd you think?
I did watch it. Yeah.
What'd you think?
Honestly, I thought it was just as campy as the cartoon.
But that was what made it great.
Yeah.
No,
I thought
it was an awesome,
that it was
fun movie.
See, that's the thing is like, I think, and I'd have to look it up, but I think Rotten Tomatoes didn't give it a great score. And it also went to streaming, a month after it came out in theaters?
Maybe 2.
Which is usually an indication that it probably didn't do quite as well and they want to go ahead and move on to the subscription services and things like that. But it was everything you would expect. And honestly, I get I get irritated with people that'll tell me that they didn't like a movie or they thought a movie was bad or whatever. I don't go and see movies because I think they're going to be really good or they're going to be really, if it's a subject that interests me, like I haven't seen Odyssey yet. I would like to.
I've seen it.
Well, and I had to read the Odyssey when I was in high school, and then break it all completely down. But like listening to critics talk about the Odyssey, having not yet seen it, of course, but listening to them break it down, I am just, it is so exhausting.
Well,
look, my thing is they put a lot of effort into the writing and the acting. It's got an unbelievably phenomenal cast as far as I'm concerned.
It does have a good cast.
So just enjoy it for what it is. You're getting to sit in a nice cushy chair and enjoy a movie.
The only thing I'll say about it, because there may be some people who watch this in the future that haven't seen the Odyssey. If I hadn't gone to the theater and seen it, and if I had watched it on my TV in my living room, which you probably able to do in 2 or 3 months, I don't think the experience would have been any worse. Like the critics were so positive on the film that I went in there thinking, oh, this is going to be like earth moving. And I can't think of the last time I watched a film and I was just like, oh my God, like that movie is like, that was it. Like it hit from the top to the bottom. The story was good. The acting was good, but there's a couple of things. It was loud, like all the background noise.
I did hear that.
It's loud. You can't quite understand everything they're saying. I personally am a fan of subtitles because I can read faster than they can talk. And so I know what they're saying or what they're going to say.
Sure.
I watch everything with the exception of live sports with subtitles on. Otherwise, I'll miss something. And it's not that I can't hear, although people in my life swear that I can't hear. I'm like, no, I'm selectively tuning you out. Not that I don't hear what you're saying. I'm choosing not to listen to what you're saying. But it was very loud. It was difficult to hear what they were saying. My father echoed the same thing. Now, he's almost 80 years old. He may very well not be able to hear. But there's just a lot going on in the film. And so it's very busy. Again, good story, good acting, great cast, monumental film. I would have been okay sitting at home watching it on my TV and it wouldn't have cost me anything. Go back to the Masters of the Universe. It was exactly what I thought it would be. It brought characters that I grew up adoring because when I was a kid, I used to have to get shots. I used to get either allergy shots or boosters or whatever we all got as kids. They didn't have the oral drops and stuff for some of them that they have now. And the only way that I wasn't a complete turd at the doctor's office is if my mom promised to buy me a He-Man figure, that's what they were called, from Walmart or Kmart or Rose's, So I'd get a He-Man figure if I was good. It was always a coin flip as to whether or not I was actually going to get the figure because sometimes I was just bad and they had to hold me down and sit on me and then, they give you the shot. But between the action figures, and I have several of them that are like graded and they're mint on card, all these old figures. Like I've got a Scareglow, a Spikor, I've got a Skeletor, Terror Claws, I think. I've got, Scareglow, lots of members of the Horde, Hordak, all these old Filmation characters when they were the toys, 84, 85. And, they brought them on the screen, not all of them, but they brought them on the screen. And they're exactly the way they're supposed to be. They updated them. I mean, they looked better than the 84, 85 Filmation characters. Yeah. But there was enough homage to the cartoon that, really brings in your Masters of the Universe fans. I mean, Skeletor calling, I forget who he called. I think he called He-Man a boob. I mean, and he's consistently insulting all his henchmen, and then, he'd do his big, his big bravo speeches, and then he just stand there and look around. And they're like, "Oh, great job, Master Skeletor, Lord Skeletor," and he's "I'm finished." You know, it hit, and it was a fun movie. Again, you know, the cast was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. And I really hope they make another one. There's a couple teasers at the end of the film that I thought were really nice and opened the door to bring in another Masters of the Universe, so to speak, with a storyline and different characters. And I think it could be great. I really do. I think it was fun. And also, and I know I'm talking way too much, but it shot to the top of the Amazon streaming list. So so it's making money there for them. So So, you know, you're thinking, okay, you know, if it at least breaks even or makes them a little bit of money, because I think Amazon Studios was one of the production companies.
It was.
So, you know, if that
production and distribution.
So that's good. And hopefully they'll pick, I've heard the rumors are that they're going to pick up a sequel. Hopefully they do.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
It had an outstanding cast.
It did.
Alison Brie, who I don't think I get to see in enough or a little. And Idris Elba was in there. It was an entertainment movie. Real quick, I also want to say Everplay Sports and Social is the league registration now through August 19th. Everything from kickball to flag football, indoor volleyball, softball, hardball, softball, bowling, lots of different leagues to sign up. Everplaysocial.com is where you want to do that. If you live in the Columbia area and you're not doing anything this fall, that you know, do this. There's a ton of leagues. You're doing bowling right now, right?
Right. And I was going to tell you that it had probably been over 20 years since I had bowled competitively. I think I bowled in high school competitively. I bowled my best game last night, 147, which is not great by any stretch of the imagination. But for a guy who doesn't bowl all that well, and one of our teammates bowled a 221, had like 6 or 7 strikes in a row. It was like awesome. And, you know, so then one guy bowled like a 240 something. I'm like, this dude was like, he was good. So Everplay bowling over at Lucky Strike. It's Lucky Strike, right?
Yeah, Lucky Strike in Casey.
Yeah. It's really fun. I'm having a much better time than I thought. And
that's good.
And meeting some people. And yeah, it's a great little social outing. And drink a beer, bowl a couple of games, and then go home, and hopefully you don't get too many L's, because we took a couple L's last night, but we got one dub.
Well, the milkshakes at Lucky Strike are to die for, just so you know.
Oh,
Barrett.
Okay. Ooh. Do they use real ice cream?
You know what? I don't know, but if they don't, then somehow they have synthesized it to the point where I can't tell.
Well, Chick-fil-A, you know, does not. They use ice dream.
Right. Yeah. I have not had I've not had a Chick-fil-A milkshake. I don't think ever.
You're not missing.
Now that I think about it,
definitely not missing it because it's not real ice cream.
Well, fair enough. Hey, I wanted to bring this up. We talked about it before we started recording, but the Fauci testimony today. First of all, I want to ask you a question, because I know what my answer is, and I'll just say I feel unaffected. But when the pandemic hit, and let me first, I never got COVID.
I did.
I never tested positive for COVID.
I got
it. Did you feel like the mandates to wear masks and stay distanced, did you feel like at any point in time that Dr. Anthony Fauci, the guy that was the head of the National Health Institute or whatever, a man that had 50 years of experience as a diagnostician, did you ever feel like he was imposing these mandates himself?
No.
Okay.
I felt like
I didn't either.
Yeah, I did get COVID, and it was a pretty rough 36 hours, but I'll just say it just felt like the flu. Like, which I think they've kind of come back and basically said it's don't want to say it is the flu because I don't want to dumb it down to that level, but it's almost like a variant of the flu of some sort.
Yeah.
Because people die from the flu. I mean, it can kill you. So I think that the problem that they ran into is that something came from somewhere. I'm not going to go down any some sort of conspiracy theory, but did it come from a lab in Wuhan, China? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know. But does it seem plausible? Yeah. So, but maybe it did. You know what? If people don't think that we have viruses in secret labs in this country that if unleashed or that they got out would wipe out half the planet, they're fooling themselves. Of course we have biological weapons. Why wouldn't we? But other people have them too. That's like saying, the U.S. only has, 12,000 or 10,000 or 8,000 nukes or whatever. Well, that's just the ones they've told you about. You don't, when you're playing poker, you don't show all your cards, right? You gotta have things. Like, I've seen V for Vendetta. I've seen Outbreak. Those things are plausible. So when something like that happens, do I think Anthony Fauci somehow, captured Thanos' gauntlet and said, I'm going to snap my finger and put the world in what's the word?
A complete lockdown.
Yeah, I'm going to lock the world out when I snap my thumb. No, of course not. I think that they were like, something's happening. We don't know what it is. And out of abundance of caution, let's just make sure that this shit just don't spread because they didn't know how it was spreading. I mean, again, I've seen the movie Outbreak. It's like if you touch your mouth or something and then you touch something else, and you get it and boom, you're dead. You don't know. There's a reason that Spanish flu in 1917, 1918 wiped out a tremendous number of people because they didn't know what was going on. Then they finally figured it out. And, I was one of the first people that I knew that actually got a COVID vaccine. It was the Pfizer. It was very early.
I got mine. I got mine the second week that it was available because I fit a certain criteria, and I had a friend that worked for a pharmaceutical distribution that was able to get me an appointment.
Well, I actually have a friend who's a pharmacist that said, and this I think was in January of 2021, right when it kind of came out. I had a friend that's a pharmacist, and he said, if you can come to Atlanta, we'll get you in to get the vaccine. And so I went and spent a week in Atlanta, stayed with him, got my first round of vaccine. I don't remember when you had to go back to get the second booster, but did that too. But I didn't think that it was necessarily rushed. I certainly didn't feel like I was forced to take the vaccine. Like a lot of people, I was forced to do it. You'll never get me. Okay. But you know what? Private businesses can choose. In my opinion, private businesses should be able to choose whether they want to serve you or not. And if they're like, you don't have the vaccine, we don't feel comfortable serving you, I think private businesses reserve that right, personally.
Yeah. Well, so in case someone's living under a rock, basically, today, Fauci appeared before the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Subcommittee and repeatedly invoked his Fifth Amendment rather than giving any information, which I thought was, first of all, it was entertaining because I could tell just how irritated Senator Rand Paul and Senator Moreno. I know Rand Paul's from Kentucky. I don't know where Moreno is from, but my assumption is Florida. Probably not right, but just based on how irritated he got at the fact that every single question that was asked, Fauci would just say, on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based on my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. That was entertaining because it was like watching Star Wars and knowing all the lines. It was fantastic. But so one of the things that Fauci's been accused of is dishonesty and attempting to cover up evidence suggesting that COVID-19 was man-made and originated, like you said, from a lab leak in the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China, rather than actually and basically not coming from nature, which there have been a lot of accusations about. I get it. But the accusations went even further. So the allegations is that Fauci used his position as director of the National Institute of Health and Allergy and Infectious Diseases to approve and fund dangerous gain of function research. So basically, the accusation is that the power that Fauci had was that he used that power and U.S. money to try to create this COVID disease, virus, and that he lied about it intentionally to lawmakers, that he was only interested, I guess, in the the fame of it all. Like, for some reason they brought up a Kardashian, like
What?
that Fauci was more interested in being able to take pictures with one of the Kardashians than the actual public health of the country and kind of the world. But one of the things that really frustrated me is that, and I know that Rand Paul will never admit it, and this Moreno will never admit it, and none of the Republicans that are at the will of Donald Trump will ever admit it. But the fact that none of them acknowledged that under Donald Trump we disconnected from the World Health Organization, which monitors things like this all over the world, that we eliminated the pandemic office from the White House, which Obama had completely set up, just all of the fail-safes necessary to make it work. And that Trump got rid of that like on day 4 of his first administration. So we ultimately handicapped ourselves from the ability to navigate through a pandemic like this. And I'm not defending Fauci. I don't know him. I don't know what his, ultimately what his goals were. But, like I said, I never got it. Safe distancing works perfect for me. Wearing a mask works perfect for me. I don't I don't like going to eat at Arby's because the type of people that eat inside of an Arby's are mouth breathers, or they chew with their mouths open.
Come on, Barrett. They have the meats.
I will get Arby's through the drive-thru. I'm not going to eat inside. Also, they not only do they have the meats, but Jon Stewart and The Daily Show back in the early 2000s would do. They'd make jokes about Arby's, and sometimes some of the things like the little cryon, the banner at the bottom would come up and say Arby's. It's like shock and awe, but for your stomach.
You know what?
But,
Arby's is like one of the last places that you can go and still get good curly fries. Hardee's used to have good curly fries.
I don't have any issue with the food at Arby's. I don't like eating inside of Arby's because the Arby's that I've been in and I can't stop looking at people and then chewing with their mouths open. It's just
well, you know what, Barrett? You can be the example for these people. You can go into Arby's and eat with your mouth closed and show them how it's done.
You could not be more right. Before we get done, though, I do want to ask you, did you watch any of the funeral of Lindsey Graham?
I'll give you 3 guesses and you only need 1.
I'm going to say you didn't.
I didn't.
I do want to share one of the highlights for me. So one of the highlights, and I don't have a clip of it, was Donald Trump after he gave his eulogy walking down past Lindsey's past the casket, and he walks over to it and taps on it and then makes a face and walks away from it.
Like was he knocking on the door saying, "Hey, you going to come out now?" I mean, what was he doing?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I have absolutely no idea. Well, he's 80 years old.
Yeah, he is.
I would be hard pressed to find an individual that would honestly say that he doesn't. They don't think that Donald Trump is suffering from what is basically dementia, coupled with absolute malignant narcissism. Like, it's just, it's off the chart. Anyway, I wanted to show you this, and I'm gonna play this. And I really need you to tell me what you think is going on in this clip.
Who's that guy to his right? Or that right over? What is that? What?
Just keep. It's going to repeat a few times. Just watch his face.
Are you trying to imply that Trump farted? You think he farted? If he did, you know what? If Trump farted during Lindsey Graham's funeral, I'll have to say that's the coolest thing he's ever done, because that would be so awesome. And that guy's face is just like, oh.
I mean, it has been has been fairly. Look, I mean, just
viral footage been smelling all the oh yeah, that would be awesome.
It has been widely reported by many people that have absolutely no issue of going on the record and saying that Donald Trump smells like a sewage pit. Like, he smells like when you open up one of those where all of the shit from the house feeds into a septic tank. That he smells like a septic tank day in and day out.
Well,
other people have said he smells like cheap,
tanks, but I do.
Right, but and he's also been described as smelling like cheap makeup foundation, which makes sense because they do tend to cake it on him. But yeah, it was just an absolutely awkward funeral from the get-go. Donald Trump, when he opened up his remarks about Graham, he said that, I guess he acknowledged that Lindsey might be sitting or laying wherever he may be. I think we know where he is, and I think he's up there. I think he's watching us.
Up there. He
I'm
said,
sure.
"I think he's up there." Wow.
Yeah, those are quotes. Those are direct quotes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He offered an anecdote about blowing up phones. He said that he recalled how their relationship began after he shared Graham's phone number publicly, joking that Graham's phone totally blew up. He said, "I didn't know what he did with it, but he exploded." He added that while he had blown up Graham's phone for a day, Graham retaliated by continuously calling him over the following decade. This was a man
that's actually kind of funny. I'll give him credit for that. That's actually kind of funny.
Well, that'd be like, let's say I pass away, and somebody gives the eulogy at a funeral. Which, by the way, no funeral, no eulogy, just dust to dust. Let it go. But then just says, yeah, Barrett was a good friend, but he wouldn't stop calling me. Like, what kind of shit is that to say at a funeral?
I don't know, but I'll say that if what you said was true about what Trump said, really, yeah, I put his number out there and his phone blew up one day, so he blew mine up for the next 10 years.
That's fact.
That is actually kind of funny. If I had been in the audience, that would have made me chuckle, because that's just kind of like, that's kind of like boys being boys. I mean, maybe, you know what, and maybe they were friends, maybe they weren't friends. I don't know. When I die, and they bring out the little jar that my ashes are in because they will not be burying me. I hope people tell jokes and laugh and have a good time. I don't want it to be some serious affair. Death, without death, life wouldn't be worth living. We should be celebrating,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had a neighbor die a few months ago, and it's the worst funeral I've ever been to, and I don't cry very much, and it was tough. I cried several times during that funeral. So,
yeah.
And for those listening out there, men can cry, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's healthy.
Yeah,
just do it.
Yeah,
enjoy it. Yeah. It's no, it is very emotionally. It definitely clears the palate. So, last thing I want to bring up is we have now what is I guess they aren't going to be able to add any more to it. Is the U.S. Senate Special Republican primary, the list of
9
candidates,
people, right?
Yeah, except I think the list I sent you yesterday was missing one because one more got added, Ford, who had run for agriculture or something. And lost. Anyway,
Danny Ford Jr.
Danny Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, so Danny Ford is also now on there. So there are 10, which ultimately guarantees that there will be a runoff on the 25th of August, which, fine.
Let's do some predictions. Who do we think are going to be the top 2?
I think that Mark Lynch got 30-something% of the vote when Graham won, right? And I got to assume that Darlene Graham is probably going to be in. By the way, I may be mispronouncing her name, but I think her married name, isn't it Darlene? Oh crap! I had it, Darlene something, but it's like her last name sounds the same as her first name, Darlene Nordine. That's what it is, Darlene Nordine. I'm hoping it's Nordine, but if it's Darlene Nordine, that's almost like from the Wedding Singer, Julia Gulia. Like it just, anyway, it's good that her name on the ballot's going to be Darlene Graham. And ultimately, I'm pretty sure that the decision was made for that. But I think it's potentially going to be between Mark Lynch and Darlene Graham. That's who I suspect.
Okay, that's as good a guess as any. I'd probably hitch my wagon to Mark Sanford. I actually thought Mark Sanford wasn't a bad governor. I think that Mark Sanford, outside of his tryst to Argentina, which based on
whatever,
I don't care about that. Based on what I have heard through the grapevine about his marriage, that his wife was mean as a snake and kind of drove him to that place. If you're the governor of a state, I mean, you can't disappear for 2 weeks. I mean, you just kind of can't do that. And I'm not under any impression to believe that nobody knew where he was. I don't buy that. Okay. Somebody knew. Right. But, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, in my opinion, if Mark Sanford became the next senator. I think he's a decent guy.
I think he's pretty normal.
Yeah.
I think of the list of people that are on here, which includes Duke Buckner.
I don't know who that is.
Russell Fry. Well, I know who Russell Fry is.
Yeah.
Obviously, Darlene Graham, Mark Lynch,
Ralph Norman,
Mark McBride. Yeah, Ralph Norman's on there. Glenda Gale Parker, Mark Sanford, Sam Shepard. Now, I'm a little confused by that. I'm assuming that Sam is sort of like a short for Samuel, but he will be appearing on the ballot as Samuel Sam Shepard, and I didn't know in South Carolina we put shortened nicknames. Yeah. That's I mean, but if it's going to happen, probably in Florida first, but nicknames in South Carolina kind of makes sense, I guess. And then of course Danny Ford. So ultimately, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a crapshoot, and not a single person on that list is exciting. It's kind of like all of the Republicans that were running for governor. Not a single one of them was exciting in the least. So I will say that of those 10 people that are running, I will be recording an episode with one of them tomorrow. So,
wow, well, look at you. And can you disclose who it is?
Yeah, I could, but the interview hasn't happened, so it's entirely possible they may cancel before the recording tomorrow when they realize, holy shit, Barrett? No, cancel that. So,
just be fair. You know what? Be fair and balanced.
I absolutely will. And ultimately, one of the things that I explained to the campaign when they asked if they could come on the show was, just understand, I am a progressive liberal. I believe in I believe in social entitlements that I pay my taxes into, and I believe that the government has one role and one role only, and that is to improve the lives and protect the lives of the people that are in this country. And the person that I'm interviewing believes the same as long as they're citizens. So I think we'll probably find more common balance, place than not.
I think that if people would actually sit down and deliberate, like we've discussed, versus debate, I think they would realize that we have more things in common than you think. It's not a blue versus red, a Dem versus a Republican. Like, at the end of the day, I think most people want to help other people. I think that when the problem that I have is when people don't want to help themselves, or they're not willing at least to make an effort. That's kind of where I draw the line. Like, I'm more than happy to give somebody a hand up, but I don't really want to consistently give people handouts. So, because there should be terms and conditions.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll add to that is that I think that it's wrong to spite the people that can't.
Well, that's different. That's different.
But that's one of the problems when it comes to our country and the split divide we have is that they want to eliminate any potential help for anyone because of that very, very small percentage that is taking advantage.
Well, then if that's what they want, if that's what the elites or whoever's in power wants to do, if you have Americans on the street that are falling over dying, and then you've got people seeing bodies on the streets, that image right there in and of itself would probably change a lot of people's perspectives. But, but you don't see that because fortunately that doesn't happen. At least if it does, we don't see it.
Yeah.
So
want to thank Preference also for leaving some comments in there for our in our chat tonight. Appreciate that. Freckleface 1981 is my brother's significant other Preference. So lovely having her comment. She said that the guy got a whiff of something something terrible. So yeah.
No, I just wonder if anybody asked him after the fact. So what was that face for, sir?
Of course not. First of all, I think he takes pride. If he knows he's doing it, I think he takes pride in doing it and having that negative impact because he has zero empathy. Our president couldn't care less about the impact that he has on anyone else, positive or negative. I don't think he gives two shits. Well, I mean, he'll throw out some shits, but I don't think he cares whatsoever. People can say I'm wrong, but I'd be hard pressed to find any evidence that he actually cares. So anyway, all right. Well, we've gone long enough.
Yeah,
it's going to wrap up for this episode. Remind everybody that the Soda City Comic Con is coming up August 22nd and 23rd at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center here in Columbia, South Carolina. Get your tickets now at sodacitycomiccon.com. Brock is going to be there. And if you see him and you scream out his name, chances are he's going to ignore you.
Maybe. Depends on, I don't owe anybody any money, so probably, yeah.
There you go. All right. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can follow me at Barrett Gruber across all social media. Check out sodacitycomiccon.com for links to their social media and follow them there. Don't forget, hit that like bell, notification bell, whatever. Then you'll know when we come on. If you can, give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us. Leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.
The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media, LLC. Copyright 2026.
Well, you've made it to the end. You survived the rambling, the tangents, and whatever nonsense we just subjected your ears to. Congratulations. Now that your brain is sufficiently scrambled, how about doing something productive for democracy? Before you go off to forget everything you just heard, do yourself a favor and double-check that your voter registration is actually legit at theallaboutnothing.com/voter. It's about the only way to make sure your vote counts, even if your taste in podcasts is questionable.